Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you're an entrepreneur or a C-suiter, you want to listen up to this next episode because we're going to be talking about an organization that you absolutely have to be a part of. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I remember when I was a TV reporter, I always had people to talk to in the Fox 4 newsroom, but then I became an entrepreneur and it can be very lonely. I was working from my home when I first started this thing, and I eventually had to find my tribe, and I have found my tribe. It's called the C-Suite Network. To talk about that today, Scott Schilling, good friend. He's an author, speaker, trainer, coach, and my friend. Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Well, okay, let's let the audience know a little bit more about you. So how many speeches to date?
Only 3,000, maybe a little bit more.
And your claim to fame is that you are really good selling from the stage.
Yeah, I've been very blessed. It's really presenting products that people need and want to solve a problem in their life. So I've done over 3,000 events like that. In fact, been the front man of 8 infomercials as well.
That's incredible. Let's talk about C-Suite because you're lending your brand to this amazing network. What is the C-Suite Network?
Well, the C-Suite Network is really, as it implies, C-Suiters, the founders, the CEOs, the investors, the top echelons in business, but it's also the thought leaders. It might be speakers or trainers who have a real desire to bring value to the marketplace through their expertise and what they've learned over time.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up the website, and as we scroll down the website, let's talk about some of the values and benefits of membership. What have you experienced so far?
Well, myself, I'm a member, and so we've got an advisor page. So literally you can learn about me, but you can see recommendations that other people have. I call it my humble brag, right? We've got a spot to have your humble brag there. Some of the videos I produced or TV shows that I've been part of. All that material is available for people to see. So that's a really cool place for those folks to gain a little extra reach in their opportunities.
And the Lone Star State has really become a big hub for C-Suite, hasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Dallas is, Texas is a very entrepreneurial state. Let's put it that way. And Dallas especially is such a great place. So we have a monthly mixer that is just absolutely wonderful. I think we had about 122 there last month. And it's just a gathering of really great people who have a desire to get to know each other, because as you said, it gets lonely at the top. If you're in the C-suite, you can't really talk to anybody in your company about what's going on. And if you're a thought leader, you're probably out there really hustling and doing it yourself. So being part of C-suite, being able to come into the mixers like that, get to know some amazing people and share some best practices and just have a little fun.
Sure. And the founder and chairman is a business legend, Jeffrey Hazlett. Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll his sizzle reel.
All right. I have to say, first of all, that if you expect Americans to be loud, brash, and obnoxious, you've come to the right place.
Bloomberg contributor and marketing guru Jeff Hazlett.
Jeff, what's the task?
You're going to create a Kodak mobile printing experience.
So what's your promise? So really have that, that elevator pitch down so you can be able to speak to it.
It's about the brand, and that's their brand right now. Their brand has to be a promise delivered.
So is Flashop going to change the way brands use Snapchat?
I don't necessarily think so.
When do you know when you have clarity?
and what confirmation do you seek to validate?
Well, that's a great question.
So why do you want to take that and make that digital?
There is still a need.
Being radically transparent, about being open and honest with everybody in your operation, talking about the things that maybe everybody should know.
If you're a big company, small company, I don't care. There's a customer and there's a performer in everything we do. So I spend most of my time talking about what the conditions of satisfaction are.
By the way, not everything's going to be perfect. In fact, when I stepped into Kodak and I started making the changes, and people said, well, what happens when we make a mistake? I said, well, let me ask you this question. Is anyone going to die? Because today, I want you to think about who you are, the kind of business that you are today versus what you can be.
And he's absolutely a larger-than-life character, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Tell us about some of the qualities that you admire in Jeffrey Hazlett.
You know, I met Jeffrey when he was still the CMO at Eastman Kodak. I mean, he was a big-time rock star in corporate America and everything. He was leading that way. And I heard him speak, and he was so dynamic and so powerful in what he was doing. And then I saw what he created with the C-Suite Network many years ago. I was on the road and I was doing all sorts of things, so I kind of was there from afar, you know. And his leadership is amazing, and more importantly, his desire to serve. Here's the chairman of an organization that has thousands of people there. And the one thing that I hear all the time at the mixers and everything is, wow, Jeffrey's here, and I was talking to him. Yeah, he's a guy. You know, he lives in South Dakota and loves it, and he's got other places as well. But, you know, he's just one of those guys who has great expertise and a desire to grow businesses and help people fulfill their dreams on their entrepreneurial quest.
Absolutely. I also want to talk about Trisha Ben, because she's kind of the heart and soul, and now she runs the show. We're going to show some video because Trisha is back to Dallas so often that she's actually been named an honorary Texan. I think that's State Senator Angela Paxton handing that award to her. Talk about Trisha and what she brings to the organization.
Well, Trisha's a rock star as well. She's the CEO of the C-Suite Network, but you know, she came out of the C-Suites, you know, billion-dollar organizations, multi-billion-dollar organizations, and she was a female in the C-Suite herself. So she's no slouch from that side as well. I mean, she's an expert, and she's taken the helm here at the C-Suite Network to really, you know, help as many. I mean, I'm fascinated by how many people she's on the phone with each day, just working to help and guide and listen and learn. Not only does she have great expertise, but she's got impeccable passion.
Yes.
She just has this desire to see people win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only way. And there's never a call where it's not some kind of personal concern, you know, to really make sure that the person she's talking to knows and feels she cares.
Absolutely. Great empathy. We'll also talk a little bit about the Hero Club. What is the Hero Club?
Well, the Hero Club is, first of all, you have to be nominated in there. It started when a gentleman actually sold his company for billions of dollars, and he chose to take hundreds of millions of dollars and distribute it to all of his employees. And he didn't do it because he had to, and he didn't do it because he was asked to. He did it because he felt it was the right thing to do. They helped grow the company, and they deserve to be rewarded. And he didn't actually think too much of it until one day somebody came up to him and said, "You're my hero."
Wow.
And so he went out and started the Hero Club to get other CEOs, founders, investors that had that kind of commitment to their people. You know, it's a no-nonsense group. The Hero Club, again, you kind of take this pledge, this pack. Again, you have to be first invited in, right? It's an invite-only organization within C-Suite. But then you take the pledge, and it's really to share best services, lift each other up, have the kimono open at the meetings, and do whatever, and really give back to the community.
Sure.
It's really about your people and giving back to the community. So Hero Club members are really those that have a desire to serve the greater good.
Sure. In the little time we have left, Scott, I know there are people watching this who probably say, man, I want to get plugged in. They can go to the website and look at upcoming mixers. I mean, what would be the best way to?
Well, probably the best way to do it is you can go to c-suitenetwork.com and you can just look at the events and you'll see the local events. You can go down the third Wednesday of every month here in Dallas. You have the opportunity to join us at the mixer. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you experience the people and the expertise that's in the room and the lack of pretentiousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty darn amazing people in that room, and you'd never really know. There was just a recent Hero Club meeting out in New York. They meet. Well, you're a member of Hero Club.
Sure.
You were there.
Yeah.
But there's a organization where one of the members, I think they're close to $1 billion in sales.
Wow.
And yet, when you walk in the room, you would never know that that's that person.
That's amazing. Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with the website again, c-suitenetwork.com. The great Scott Schilling. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.